Yeah, so today I would like to tell you some stuff about using regional clusters and special CTVs to reduce the subsea survey cost. Just a brief introduction from myself. My name is, obviously Spengler. I'm the leader of the subsea surveys at the Deutsche Windtechnik. And just to show you a brief range of the Deutsche Windtechnik. The offshore department, it's starting from the top at NSL to do the wind turbine generator. They will do the maintenance, inspections, and also some gearbox endoscopies. Then to go a little more down below, we also do the same at the foundations, the TP maintenance and inspections. So where I obviously belong to the subsea part, but we will also do this in the bathwater inspection maintenance. Further on, the part need of each offshore wind farm in the USS. There we also do the full maintenance, and last but not least the back office management, like technical management, and further on. I think that's enough just to give you a nice view in the first place. So what I want to show you actually is there are basically two kinds of surveys. One is for the scour protection itself, and the other one is to inspect the cable trajectories. So the first one, to do the scour protection, is usually done with the multibeam echosounder system, short MBS or so-called multibeam. And this is to gain the bathymetric data. As you can see on the top picture, they can see some barrages, some shallow areas, and even some sand ripples in an estuary of a river. And the second one, to do mainly the cable trajectories, is to identify objects or obstacles. And this one you can see on the lower picture. Here it's a sunken container, and it's creating some kind of shadow, so you can really nicely see if there are some objects or obstacles within this certain area. So the question actually is those both things actually really absolutely necessary to perform this in the offshore wind farm industry? That's I will hopefully show you that it's maybe not. So here on this slide I would like to show you that actually it's kind of overrated to perform this specific services for the needs and requirements in the offshore industry. For instance, you can easily see the resolution on the picture is heavily good. It's done with a classical side scan survey, where you can reach a resolution of 1 to 3 centimeters. But in the meantime, the BSH standards, which applies to the offshore industry in this regards, just actually require 50 by 50 by 50 centimeters. So you can already see in the first place it doesn't really match. German saying, mit Kanonen auf Spatzen schießen. So this is the first thing where you can already see it might not really match for the execution offshore. The second one is basically the classical application from the side scan sonar towfish. It's some kind of towfish being pulled behind the vessel right on the top of the seabed. So and it's actually coming from the search and rescue survey, where you don't know what and don't know where to survey. In the offshore wind farm industry, it's completely upside down. You know exactly what, as the sunk objects being larger than 50 by 50 by 50, and you know where around your locations or around the defined corridor around the cable trajectories. So I think it's pretty obvious that this needs and executions don't really match so well. So I can show you some alternative. You can also gain this side scan sonar data, which is with the towfish below the seabed. You can also gain this with a normal multibeam system, which is, as shown in the slide before, actually only doing this terrain model. You can also get this same amount of data from the multibeam system. It's not having such a nice and good resolution as the picture before, Here you can see some sunk vessel and some slope in the seabed. You would probably guess that it's a very big slope on the seabed, but if you see on the terrain model on the right, it's this one here, and with a scale, it's actually only 25 to 30 centimeters, so you also have a very clear and good picture. Nevertheless, it's lower than the side scan sonar, but still absolutely matching with the needs for the client. So just here a quick comparison between the two executions. The main comparison is that you don't need a second unit to be at the vessel. So you just have one pure multibeam system, and you don't have so heavily cost-intensive fittings. Indeed, you therefore need only one surveyor instead of at least two, which is obviously saving some money already. And it still absolutely fulfills these age requirements. And we already got the approval by some certifying body, so it's really approved by some certified body, and we're allowed to do it like this, and it's absolutely fulfilling. Furthermore, we do this service with our CTVs. We don't have special survey vessels which can only do this very one precise job. We can do a lot of more, like already in the my former colleagues told you, you can do some refueling on the substation with this CTV, you can do heavy lifts, and ROV operation, you can do a lot more. Furthermore, the weather limit for the client regarding the standby time and the calculation, you can operate in higher weather limits. So the next one is actually about the possible clusters. Also, my former colleagues were talking about it already. So it's, I think, pretty obvious if you share some clusters, you can share a lot of costs, and this service has to be done in the summer campaigns anyhow, so why shouldn't different clients just use some clusters advantages? So this and last year we already did the cluster at the Sylt. We already finished Gutenberg just 2 days ago, and in end of May I will do the execution myself in Danvers and Sandbank from the accommodation platform. So I think if it works out there, it should really work out at the Helven cluster too, and for instance the Dolphin cluster or any other cluster. So I think every client should really think about why not sharing some clusters advantages than just doing it for one very specific wind farm, and you always have the high mob and demob costs and the mobilizations, all the preparations, getting the CV there, and everything prepared. You can just share it by, for instance, 3, and then you already gain quite some good savings. So now, to actually get you familiarized with what I'm actually talking about, what system, I took these pictures, I think, last year during the maintenance and inspection. This year is basically inside the starboard hull of the MO4, one of our CTVs, and there you have some kind of moon pool with an inspection edge. So the second picture is actually like the head is sticked into this edge, and you can see the slider where the multibeam at the bottom is fitted to. So you have some guides on the side, so when being on transit you can just have it in parked position within your vessel, so it's safe. And when commencing the survey works, you can just lower it to the bottom. On the next slide you will see too, and we just do the maintenance and all this stuff ourselves. So the red one, these are actually one of the sonar heads, which is creating the acoustic signals and receiving it, and thereby you gain the data and some other equipment. I think this would be in too much detail probably now. So the good thing is we can swap it between the vessels, which means for us and also the client, there's no downtime of the vessel. As we can do it in the night, we can just demount and transport it to the next vessel and mount it again in the nighttime, so you don't have any downtime of the vessel, which is, I guess, one of the biggest advantages. You don't have to transit from the German to the Danish port. You can just take it from the German port, demount it, bring it to the Danish port where our second CTV is in place already. And we have done this, I think, now a couple of times already, and it worked out to be, not so easy, but let's say with the right guys, it can be done nicely and effective and fast. So further on, as promised, here you actually see it's on the MO4. This is the bracket without the solar head. It was just before mounting it. So here again the solar head and some other equipment. This is then placed onto the bracket. And as you could see before, this slider can move up and down. So during transit for this one, you can't see it in parking position, so you have a nice shape, and the MO4 is fuel efficient again. Actually you can just stick it in there, do the calibration, and the next day or even the same day you can start gaining the data, so you don't really lose so much time. And here, this is like the online system for operating and running the whole systems, just to control and check if the intensity and quality of the data is fine. Here the water depth, and here the water column. Here you can actually see the seabed. And in the end, on some other software, you can see the product, let's say, here with some pile and some scour around it, so you would already see in the first place that there are some issues. So last but not least, you probably ask yourself, why should you actually choose us to perform these surveys? As you could see, it's one system, one CTV, no large crew, not many surveyors, just me and the usual crew, let's say. So the staff costs are a lot lower, and yes, it can just be done by one single survey, me or a colleague or whoever. So further on, swapping the systems, there are lower mobilization costs than the common survey vessel. They usually come from England, the Netherlands, and they're not so fuel efficient, takes a long time, so you probably already spent 25k just for getting the job started, which we obviously don't really have. As we are more fuel efficient, and we have two possibilities to start, either from the German coast at Wilhelmshaven to transit, or from the Danish port in Rømø for instance, Sylt or Helgoland cluster. So further on, I'd say the flexibility in offering with or without weather risk is, I'd say in this regard for surveying, quite unique. The standby rates are a lot lower than for big survey vessels, again due to the staff and all the equipment you don't have to pay for. And for the two upcoming projects, we talked to our client how about leaving the weather risk on his side, so we don't have it, but not having just pure standby rates, and also offering stand down rates. So in case there is a real big storm coming and you have higher waves than 1 meter for at least 5, 6, 7 days, you don't have to spend all the standby rates each day by day, which really is very cost intensive. You can just pay once the demobilization, and that's it. You have stand down time, so you can take 2 weeks off and the client doesn't have to pay for anything. Then we remobilize, and that's it, we keep going. So the weather for a long period is, I'd say, not a real risk anymore. And the client there was happily surprised. So I think this is quite a nice option. So now the most important thing, what can be saved? I'm pretty confident that at least 25% of the usual costs of such subsea campaigns can be saved. Always depending on the location of the client, the needs, but there are for sure savings than this common and classic survey like in the past. So I think we can change the offshore industry in this regards. Thank you. If you have any question, you can just ask now, later on, text me, call me. Thank you very much.